So let's do round two, friends and family of the internet and fellow watchers on the wall. I want to show you some very disturbing pictures and footage that have come out from the Epstein files. It looks like the Democrats, against the Republicans wanting them to, have released some never seen by you and I footage of Jeffrey Epstein's island. And there's a very disturbing footage, and it's this picture. There's a hospital, like a dentistry chair in the middle of the room with mask, facial mask all over the walls. Now, the only thing I can think of is either somebody was playing some serious sexual games, or they were changing the way people looked to move them around. Either way, it was sick. It was very disturbing. I cringed inwardly when I saw this photo because I knew when I looked at it what probably happened in that chair. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about are these mysterious booms that are coming back and how that is linked. And I am not joking. They are linked to what's going on right now across the world with these earthquakes. I know it all sounds like a bit too much, but I find it very telling that the booms and the quakes are coming back right at the time.
New at 6, we have video of another recorded explosion sound.
They're coming back right at the same time that the Epstein files are being dumped into the public sphere. Now, I don't know what to make of that, but we're not ignoring this anymore, you guys. So if you've never heard of our book, Growing Under a Poisoned Sky, I'll link it for you guys to purchase it. Listen to me. They are poisoning us. And the reason why, the elites and certain people, the rich, can live through it is because they have genetically prepared themselves and their offspring for these toxins. But it is like they are burrowing into the earth in the middle of the night. And I've got 2 separate news reports from across America to prove it. Listen.
Webster, we're up to 4 now. No one can explain to us what the source is. But this new video is different because it captures a flash of light just before the boom. And Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen is standing where it happened.
I'm near the corner of Bay and Lake Road. That's Lake Ontario right behind me. And this is where the light and the sound came from.
And it was captured on this doorbell camera. First you see the light, then you hear the sound.
When you watch that video, what sound do you hear?
It was Brian Hensel's camera that recorded it.
When it first happened, my wife and I were talking in the living room. It sounded to me like someone's propane tank exploded. It didn't sound like lightning. It didn't sound like fireworks. It was significant.
What the hell is that?
This all started when Joelle Calcagno shared the explosions she recorded at her home in Webster starting in October.
What do you think that is?
It sounds like something exploding to me.
This story has 116,000 views on YouTube from across the country, where neighbors shared unexplained flash and sound in their skies. This is Tampa.
So, Rich, we're looking at what the weather was like on August 1st.
Correct.
I asked First Alert meteorologist Rich Cornelia to check the forecast from August 1st, the date of this video. Data from the airport shows no storms.
But there's a special column here for notable weather, and it's labeled as 3. And when you go down, it shows 3 as being thunder.
Could that have been as close as Webster?
For sure. Certainly if you had lightning in Webster, there's a chance you could hear it at the Rochester airport.
There is no thunder for the dates of the other explosions. And when we freeze Brian Hensel's video, it shows the light coming from the ground, not the sky.
I didn't hear anything later on. The neighbors all seemed fine, so I just chalked it up as something I may never know what it was.
The town supervisor told me that they investigated this back in October and could not locate a source for the explosions. Since we're so close to the lake, I contacted the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard tells me there's nothing in its logs about being called to investigate an explosion over or near the lake in West.
How much you want to bet, you guys? So you heard them. This is going all the way across to Tampa. Different people are recording and they're concerned. They should be. They're doing something, you guys.
Hear the explosions people in Webster are hearing and recording on their security cameras. Take a listen. Whoa. Chief investigative reporter Berkeley Breen is live in Webster. Now, Burke, does anyone know what that is?
Well, the short answer there, Nikki, is no. And I think that's one of the reasons why one of the homeowners decided to contact me. She's been recording these explosion sounds since September.
It's just before 5 p.m. on November 7th. That was the voice of Joelle Calcagno after the latest explosion that rattled her home.
How is this affecting you?
Well, it wakes me up when I'm sleeping.
I guess so.
And I have puppies. It wakes the puppies up.
That's because most of the time they happen in the middle of the night.
Okay, this is October 15th.
Just after midnight.
Friday, October 3rd.
At 2 a.m.
Oh, geez, that was 2.
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
It sounds like something exploding to me.
I think they're either digging tunnels. It's military. It's black ops. Now, I hope that it does not hit me for this video. If it does, then I will still link it in description for you to go find. Let me go. Have you ever to here?
House Oversight Committee Democrats released more files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, containing pictures of his home on the infamous private island. Oversight Democrats wrote on social media, quote, "We won't stop fighting until we end this cover-up and deliver justice for the survivors." This is not the first time Democrats on Oversight have released files related to Epstein before the majority could release them. Oversight Republicans have continuously slammed the Democrats over what they call the premature release of files over the last few months. An Oversight Committee spokesperson says, quote, "The last time Democrats cherry-picked and doctored documents, their attempt to construct yet another hoax against President Donald Trump completely collapsed." The House voted almost
Look at this. This was in his house. Why do you need a dental chair and all these masks? Look at these faces. There's masks everywhere, and there's a dental chair.
unanimously to force the Justice Department to release the Epstein files, with every House Republican except one supporting the measure. House Oversight Committee.
I'm sick of the cover-up, you guys. Now, let me show you what I found on X real fast. Now, this goes back to 2019. Seismographs can record even magnitude 1 tremors, which people typically do not feel, which suggests the boom did not originate underground. This was Ontario. Was it a skyquake or an unexplained boom heard across the Hamilton remains a mystery. Sound blasts early Saturday spurs theories ranging from an industrial accident to supersonic jets to God's taco night. So these booms have been going from Canada down to the US for like 6 years now, and nobody will tell us what they are. Now, this is the Schumann resonance, which went off the charts today. This is September 12th of 2025. Unlike anything we've seen in weeks, from calm frequencies to a complete whiteout, the Earth's heartbeat surged to extreme levels. Headaches, ringing ears, strange dreams, or just an unexplained restlessness. Many reported heightened energy during spikes when they're like this. Now, the Schumann resonance is a frequency that the Earth puts off. Now, one of the things that makes Maui so unique is that around the island of Maui is the perfect human heartbeat. The island literally puts off the same heartbeat frequency as a healthy adult. When you see something like this, and this is 2 days after the Charlie Kirk assassination, it does make you wonder what is going on, you guys. So then this is January 11th. People in other parts of the country experiencing loud booms, some even shaking their entire house. Listen to this, you guys.
But like, our whole road and our neighborhood. We're not really in a neighborhood, but like something really weird's happening. So we were sitting here, and around 9:45 tonight, I get a call from my neighbor who is panicking, like she's freaking out. She just heard something hit, like shook her house. Something just shook her house. Well, of course, you know, we're trying to go over, so my husband gets his safety device and runs across over there, and he's going around the perimeter. And she's older. She hasn't been outside this whole storm. So there's no tracks, no animals, no ice, no nothing, y'all. Nothing around her house in my mind. Well, the ice fell off of her roof. It's 8 degrees here. Nothing is melting. Nothing is falling. Nothing is sliding. I said, well, it's just the ice. It's got to be the ice. So my husband looks, and there's no tracks, no signs of ice falling anywhere around her house. Nothing, she swears. It shook her house so hard, it shook her bedroom door. So we come back over, and we come back in about 11:10, I guess. I don't remember what time it was. It's not been that long ago. Everybody in my house is asleep except for me. And it happens here. And it didn't happen on the side of the house where ice would slide off. It happened in the center of our house. Something hit the roof, the center of our house. It hit it. I don't know what it was. The same exact as it sounded across from her house, because we heard it happen again while my husband was standing out there. I'm trying not to wake the baby. When my husband was standing out there at her, we heard it again. We heard it. But it wasn't as loud, and we didn't see anything. We're all standing there looking at the house. Nothing is happening. So I heard it here, and it shook the whole house. There's nothing above my bedroom except for a landing to the stairs. My teenager, I immediately messaged him, and I said, was that you? And he said, no, it wasn't me. So I hear him start to get up from his bed in the other room. It wasn't him. It sounded like somebody took a flying leap across the house and hit as hard as they could on the other side, y'all. It was not something sliding. It was not something shifting. It was not something hitting the ground. It was something on the house. It gets weirder. It gets weirder. So this is where it starts to get really weird. Okay, so my son comes downstairs. He's 16. And I say, did you hear that? And he said, yeah, but that's the same sound that I heard earlier when y'all were outside. I said, excuse me? What? He said, I heard that exact same sound earlier when you were outside talking to the neighbor. It happened at both of our houses, y'all. Not on the ground, not shaking like from the floor, shaking from the roof. It shook the roof. It gets weirder. So we're on a road. We're not really in a community. We're on a street. So we have a community page. I'm waking the baby. I posted on the community page and asked if anybody else was having this issue on our street. And people further down the road, a good mile, I don't know exactly their address. They said further down this road is 20 minutes long. Said they had it too. Swear they thought something fell on their house. What is happening, y'all? Like, I'm freaking out. I don't have any explanation for this. Normally I have answers for things like this. I do not have any answers. It is not the ice. I don't know what it is, but I am freaking out, and I do not know. I don't know. Has anybody else had this happen? Like, what is going on?
No, you guys. I mean, lots of weird things are happening. Look at this one. December 2nd. Okay. Like a day ago. Nothing strange. 11 states in America are hearing a loud humming sound coming from the ground that is shaking their homes. No earthquakes, no floods, according to news reports. It seems they're just preparing and organizing their tunnels.
Oh my God, what is that sound?
New York.
What is that? Oh my God.
What is that noise?
I don't know. What is it?
Is it a UFO?
I don't know.
That is not
Ryan, I have no idea. What is that sound?
What do you think it is?
No, I don't know where that is coming from.
It sounds almost
just fades
spiritual. Like they're thinning the veil when they turn CERN and harp on.
I don't know. Here it comes again. Oh my God, what is that sound?
I don't know what that says. Okay, so this I thought was really, really cool, you guys. So this shows the occurrence of earthquakes on the Earth between the 2017 and 2018. The difference with this and any other chart you'll see is it's showing you the depth that these earthquakes are, like how deep they're going into the Earth. Look at this one. This is worrisome because the core of the Earth is like right there. The Earth is groaning, breaking. This was July 29th. This is the world's biggest earthquake in 14 years. An 8.7 quake off Russia's coast. And I remember when it triggered the tsunami warning, like all up and down the coast, right? This was a worldwide map of the earthquakes across the globe in 7 days, January 7th of 2024. Look at it. Look at them. This again, July 29th. This is the sixth strongest recorded earthquake ever to hit the planet. It was an 8.8 off Russia's coast. It had triggered the tsunami alerts along the entire Pacific, Hawaii, Japan, Alaska, West Coast. Because of this, watch how cool this is. And that's what triggers tsunamis. Look at that water. Of course, that right there would have been, the Pacific Islands. You've got the coast of Africa right here. I don't know. It's getting worse every single year. Now, this, I am sickened. Look at the face mask. Look at this. And it's all faces of men. There's this chair, this dental chair. And then this would be like a massage chair on this backside that's folded up. I don't know what these are. Do you guys know what these are? I'd hate to see what's hidden in all of these. Mm-mm. And then here's one of the bedrooms. The Jeffrey Epstein files have been unsealed. We have the documents. Here are the most important John Does. Now, this was 2024. It's been January 2024, okay? And it's calling Bill Clinton John Doe number 36. You guys, it's 2 years, fixing to be January 3rd of 2026. They are playing with us. Now, this bothered me a lot when I originally saw this. Newly released emails obtained through a FOIA request reveal that Dan Bongino was approached in March to help redact and censor Epstein files. And I knew something was going on. It says from Leslie, I cannot see it, Back in Cheese, FBI, New York, sent to Daniel Bongino, FBI, DOJ, on March 18th, 2025. Leslie, Chad, good talking with each of you yesterday. I'm happy to support. I wanted to share the below as we seek guidance from the GC on the types of redactions to apply to these documents so we can process the right way out of the gate. Regardless, we are here, we are ready, looking forward to welcoming New York and the WFO to Winchester today. Shannon, Assistant Director of Information Management Division. Chad Yarbrough. It's too much cover up going on. I'm just to the point. I'm like, dude, give us the information.
Players in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein. More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked Epstein.
I was not a
May not have been a fan. You don't have to be a fan of somebody to rub shoulders with them. I do understand that, you guys. But this is horrific. Look how it's so blah. Like there's no light to this.
Getting nice and warm in here.
There's a helicopter landing. I'm just sickened.
You're going to get great ratings in your show.
I wanted to come have a chat with you guys about these mysterious sounds. They're back. We're getting more of the Epstein stuff, but we're never going to get the full picture of what happened. At this point, like I am resigned to the fact they're all in the club together. There's no way they're going to just say, "Here, America, here, world, here are all the elites, here are all the Luciferians, here are all the little girls and boys that were brought there that were never left the island. Here is the truth of what was done and who did it." They are never going to tell us that. They're going to string us along with bits and pieces, even the Democrats. Oh, we're going to release a minute-long video and 10 new pictures. Woo! In the name of Jesus, I rebuke them. I rebuke them. I don't want to play their game. You know what I'm saying? The emotional manipulation behind this, it is just another energy harvesting game for the Luciferians. You and I are awake, aren't we? You know what happened on that island. I know what happened on that island. Having been a mother of a survivor to children that this type of stuff happened to, I know what happened there, and so do you. And I don't need confirmation of who was there or not. I can look across Washington, D.C. and Hollywood, and the Holy Spirit just points them out to me. At this point in history, I want you guys to know that there is a way. There's a book. I was given this book when I went to Maui the 3rd time on the year anniversary. The gentleman that wrote it, his name is Paul. And they started grassroots movements to take back political power in Maui from the elites that were buying up the land and then buying the politicians. The sugarcane, I'm not sugarcane, the pineapple industries and all of that. They knew that they had lost control of the islands. The water was being stolen. The indigenous peoples were being pushed off of their heritage land. And they began to go into civic engagement in a way that all of us could mimic. And he wrote this book, and it's called Reclaiming Paradise, Reset for the Common Good. And it talks about like how you can grassroots and get your candidate into power. And in one section of the book on page 216, he says, the challenge of candidate betrayal. There will be significant efforts to try to shift that majority back to the influence of corporate rule. Those with tremendous wealth and power will try. So be prepared and don't be discouraged. There have been many instances where candidates are elected through a significant grassroots effort only to become a different person of a different moral character. Regardless whether the intention was to dupe his or her supporters or if the acquisition of power awakened some latent part of themselves, the results are still the same. And it just talks about how, they put in new city council members and then realize that those city council members sold them out to the corporate rule where, the corporations and the rich win. And I think that we have been told that there's nothing we can do so much that we don't realize that legitimately there is something we can do. We can take back and occupy the territory we are currently in. YouTube did this thing. You might have seen it on For You. It says, oh, this is your year recap. They gave me an award. Do you know what the award said? Most likely to never find a problem she can't find an answer to. I was like, oh, AI is going to seriously take us over because it's true. I don't look at problems like most people. I don't look at what I don't have. I look at what I do have. And I am thankful for you guys for going on this journey with me, for just being here with me as the Lord opens my eyes more and more, because this is not fun for me. Nope. Knowing that next week, in fact, it's not even next. Yeah, it is. It's next week. The 14th, I have to roll out of here for an entire 6 nights in New Orleans. And I'm not looking forward to it. It's colder than average here. I'm tired, you guys. I'm physically exhausted with this continual going to New Orleans. But this coming week, we have like 8 different procedures for Stephen, CAT scans, sonograms, angiograms, all of that to determine the size of this foul demonic thing. Now I'm praying it's going to go away on its own, and I'm just going to stand on that prayer. And I'm thankful for modern medicine because sometimes we do need intervention, It's just, it's the emotional and financial toll. Honestly, I'm so thankful that God has opened my eyes to what happens to the average American when their family member becomes ill. I didn't know what people went through until I myself began to go through it. Then I was like, wow. I can't imagine people who have children who have like chronic diseases, or your loved one comes down with cancer. Like, what you go through is so much. And there's nobody out there explaining this toll it takes on you financially, emotionally, physically, psychologically, So for me, being able to come here with you guys to sit down to share what I'm finding is an avenue of me releasing. This is how I am releasing, because my mind doesn't stop. When I sleep, I'm thinking. I know, right? My husband once said, people just have no idea. Like, you never stop thinking. I don't. I'm always deep thinking. I'm thinking about what God's doing right now. And like, How does this Bible verse in this chapter of the Bible apply today? Like, I'm always thinking. It's just how God made me. So people say, well, how can you find all this stuff and put it together so quickly? That is not me. That is the Holy Spirit. He just hands me a thread and he knows that I'm going to study to show myself approved. And the more faithful I am with the little, the bigger it is that he gives me. And he's good like that, you guys. He's so faithful and true to us. And it doesn't matter about anything else except that he is here for us. And in the end, we win. We win. All right, friends and family, I have to go cook supper. I love you guys so much. Having a blessed and amazing day. Thank you for your time.